All right, what's up everybody? So I made the decision to start practicing my trading a little bit more. I came up with some new compounding strategies and I wanted to test them out before going on to the real thing. As you might already know, I've passed the FTMO challenge 4 times now, and I also just passed another challenge last week, and that makes it now 5 times that I've passed the challenge. I just have to reach the 10-day minimum on that one. But before I passed the 5th challenge, which was a $10,000 account, I did a trial version of the $10,000 challenge, which I passed in just 4 days. And I also had a 100% win rate throughout the challenge. So the reason it says 91% over here is the blank trade you have to take in order to pass the minimum amount of days. This technically counts as a loss in their system, which lowers the overall win rate. Also, I took a break-even trade on the last day. Basically, I made $7.50, and the commission on the trade was also $7.50. So that technically counts as a loss. I'm not sure why 0 would count as a loss. It should just be neutral. But as you can see from the trades, I didn't lose a single one throughout the challenge. Go ahead and take a look at those. Now the trial version is a little bit different from the real version. The profit target is only $500 instead of $1,000, and the minimum trading days are 5 instead of 10. And obviously you don't get anything from completing the trial version. It's really just used as practice for your strategy before spending the entrance fee to do the real thing. As you can see though, I did get to the $1,000 profit target that's required in the real version, and I passed it in under 5 days anyway, so the minimum days didn't even count here. So what this trial run showed me is that my strategy is really solid, and this gave me the confidence that I needed to breeze through the real version of the challenge. As usual, I'm always trading with the 8 high probability patterns that I've discovered to have the highest rate of success, most notably the trend continuation patterns. You'll have the most success trading in the forex market using momentum, and heavy trends almost always continue on in the same direction until a strong reversal pattern is printed. So until you see a good sign of a reversal, it's almost always better to enter in the direction that price is already going. If you can keep this concept in mind while you're trading, I guarantee you'll have a much higher rate of success. As far as my risk management strategy, I used a new compounding system that I came up with. The market has been a little bit choppier than usual lately, which means it's better to use a smaller risk to reward ratio during these times. So I took my usual compounding concepts and came up with a 1 1/4 reward version. You basically roll 4 winning trades in a row. Since the risk reward ratio is so small, it's very easy to get 4 in a row or even more than that. You see I had a 100% win rate here, so I didn't lose any at all. So technically I could have done even more than 4 in a row, but 4 is more than good enough. As you can see by the graphic, you'll have around $985 after going through this cycle twice, and you can get the other $15 just from a regular trade after that. Now, if you do come across a situation where you can go for 2 reward instead, that is the much safer option. I also made a formula for 3 reward trades, and those are usually EMA trend continuations on the hourly or daily charts with an entry on the 5-minute chart. It's much more difficult to get three reward trades in a row, but if you do, you gain 48 times your original risk amount. And if you happen to lose the second trade in the sequence, you just go back to 0 rather than losing any money like you do on the 1 1/4 reward version. So that is the strategy that I used here. Now let's very quickly look at a couple of the notable trades that I took. I'm not going to go too much into detail here or the video is going to end up being too long. So the first notable trade that I took was on the odd CAD, and this was an EMA trend continuation on the hourly chart. So I'll show you what that looks like. So you take your entry right from there. So down on the 5-minute chart, that would be this area right here. So I took my entry right in here. You have your stop loss right there. And remember, I was only going for, I think I did go for 2 on this one, I believe. The stop is right down in there. So pretty easy trade. I think that was, let's see, about half an hour to 45 minutes. And then the second trade was on the AUD USD. This was actually very similar to that first trade. So this was a EMA trend continuation on the hourly chart. Then when you go down into the 5-minute, you see your entry right in there. You would enter the trade right in here. Stop loss there. And take profit there. So another pretty easy trade, maybe about half an hour. So the third big trade that I took was on the Euro USD, and this was on the following day, April 26th. So this was a combination move. Let's see, right around the open, which was right in here. So this is a combination EMA trend continuation and consolidation trend continuation. So that's what it looks like on the hourly. When you come down into the 5-minute chart, we took our trade. Let's see, took our trade right here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right, that's what that looked like. Another quick trade, about 45 minutes there, maybe half an hour. So the next big trade that I took was on the Euro GBP. And this was yet another EMA trend continuation. So we're looking to enter this area right here. So I took my trade right in there. Put your stop above the tail and take profit right down here. Another very quick trade that took maybe 20 minutes at the most. And the next big move was on the Gbp USD. And this was a combination consolidation, trend continuation, and EMA trend continuation. So on the hourly, we're looking at this area right here. So when you go down into the 5-minute chart, we have a good entry right in here, right at the open. So you put your stop right up there and take profit down in here. I'm not sure if I went for 1 1/4 or 2. Either one would have worked. And that took about a little longer than the other two, maybe about 40 minutes on that one. And then the next big trade that I took was on the USD JPY. Actually, the next two big trades. This was yet another EMA trend continuation. Probably the best trade pattern out there. Let's see. It's right around midnight. Okay, so it's right in here. So see, that's the hourly, and then here on the 5-minute is where I actually took my entry. That was right in here somewhere. Put your stop underneath the tail and take profit right in there. Another really quick trade, about 25 minutes. And then the next big trade was on the same pair. This was also the USD JPY. And let's see. This was on the following day, right at the open. So there's the area on the hourly chart. Then down on the 5-minute, see your entry would be right in here. Put your stop underneath the tail. And I'm actually not sure if I went for 1 1/4 or 2, but either one would have worked. Actually, this move here would have been good for a trail. So say you, let's see if I can fit this whole thing on here. So the first trade I took was down here. So if I would have stayed in the whole entire time, I could have gotten all of this here, which is, let's see, I think about 400 pips. So good moves do happen like that. I usually don't trail at all these days. I like to just go ahead for the easy scalp, go ahead and get the money and leave. But if you are the type of person that likes longer term trends, that can be a really good strategy too. And then the final big trade that I took was on the Euro GBP, and this was a parabolic top. So you can see you have a really big move up here, way away from the EMAs. So you take your entry up here in that area, jump in on that candle right there, stop loss above the tail, and take profit down in there. Another really quick trade, maybe 25 minutes at the most. So those were the notable trades that I took. You see a bunch of other small wins in here. So these were mainly trades that I got into and then changed my mind about. The interesting part is I think even all of those trades ended up going through to my take profit after I exited the trade. So that's something I'm still working on. If you commit to a trade, you should already know that you did thorough analysis to be confident enough to let the trade run. Even if it takes a little longer than usual, it might even get pretty close to your stop loss, but most likely it'll end up going through and becoming a win. All right, so there it was. Right after I did this very successful trial run, I immediately started a new $10,000 challenge, the real one, and ended up passing that one even quicker in just 3 days. So I'll make a video covering that also. I didn't have a 100% win rate on that one, unfortunately, but it was still a really good performance either way. Be on the lookout for that video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this amazing trial run that I just did. Don't forget to press the like button. Always remember to trade responsibly, and I'll see you guys later.